It's not easy to follow in the footsteps of one of the greatest football players in the history of the game, but Marvin Harrison Jr. put together a college resume that far exceeds his Hall of Fame dad's.
The guy is spectacular. In my opinion, he's the best player in college football.
Now it's time to see if Jr. can start paving his own path to a gold jacket in the NFL. This episode of Top Prospects is presented by Robert Half. The son of longtime Colts receiver Marvin Harrison Sr., Marvin Harrison Jr. was an instant impact player for the Buckeyes and projects to be the same at the NFL level. It's hard to list all the things that Harrison Jr. does well because, truthfully, there is no trait that applies to wide receivers in which he doesn't excel. But for a jumbo-sized wide receiver at 6'3" and 209 pounds, two facets of his game are worth highlighting right now. His run after catch skills and his body control to make contested catches, which is perhaps the most impressive trait of his entire game. Harrison Jr. opted not to run a 40-yard dash during the pre-draft process, so while we don't have a verified time speed, it's obvious in watching him on film that he is equal parts smooth and fast after the catch. Meanwhile, there's an old saying about certain top-flight receivers that even when they are covered, they're still open. No player in the 2024 NFL Draft exemplifies that more than Marvin Harrison Jr. The proof of all this is in the tape, so let's get right into it. I just want to reiterate one thing: 6'3", 209 pounds. That's a huge wide receiver, so when you're watching these plays, keep in mind that Marvin Harrison Jr. does things that look like a wide receiver who might be 25 pounds lighter and 3 inches shorter than he is. We'll start things off with a wide receiver screen, a little inside-out return motion, and then watch this. All right, so Marvin Harrison Jr. corrals this catch. Number 13 from Purdue is thinking to himself, he's got the football behind the line of scrimmage. I have a chance for either a negative play or a short gainer. And said, whoop! Next thing you know, he's gone. I get it. This is only a 12 or 14-yard catch, but the fluidity from Marvin Harrison Jr. at that size to take an ordinary play and turn it into a first down, just look at how buttery smooth that cut is right here. This defender is thinking to himself, I got him. Next thing you know, completely off balance, whiffs on the tackle. This turns into a first down for Ohio State and Marvin Harrison Jr., who, by the way, had more touchdown catches than anybody else in the FBS over the past 2 seasons. Another one here, another run after catch opportunity for Marvin Harrison Jr., and takes a relatively short 10-yard gain. Number 23 is saying to himself, I've got inside leverage. This defensive back from Indiana is inside Marvin Harrison Jr. He is probably saying to himself, all I got to do is force outside. I've got that sideline that is basically an extra defender that extends the length of the field that I can use to my advantage. If there's one thing I can't do, it's get beat inside. And instead, whoop, twice, 2 Indiana defenders come down in a matter of moments and both whiff on Marvin Harrison Jr. Watch the vision to not just see this first cut and make a defender miss, but anticipate this linebacker coming at 1,000,000 miles an hour from, 10 or so yards away, and to spin off of him as well. It's not always these 65-yard highlight reel plays, but just Marvin Harrison Jr.'s ability to make everything looks so easy for a player at this size is incredible. The run after catch skills are very, very good. But I think the bread and butter for Marvin Harrison Jr. at the next level is going to be contested catches. All right, so we call a defender in phase when he is on the hip of the wide receiver. Not quite on the hip or in phase here for this Wisconsin defensive back, but certainly close enough to Marvin Harrison Jr. where it requires a good throw and a good catch. Watch this right here. All right, so Marvin Harrison Jr., as you can see, and I can run it back one more time here, he kind of slows his momentum down right near the goal line. You'll see it right, kind of slow down. His body is almost leaning back, like the ball is not ahead of him. It's instead coming almost behind him. Look at this. When he makes this catch, in college, again, 1 foot down is all it takes to have a catch or a touchdown. That's like the right heel right here that Marvin Harrison Jr. is making this catch with. It's a touchdown. It's a beautiful play. He falls, keeps the ball in possession all the way through. You'll see it one more time. A little bit of the route work at the beginning as well. Just watch the feet from Marvin Harrison Jr. to begin this route. So shifty, so nimble, so impressive in his footwork there, and just A beautiful catch. Again, kind of pulls up at the end. The body control, so impressive there from Marvin Harrison Jr. Not bad coverage. Gets a hand right in the face at the very end, completely unfazed. Let's see more stuff in the red zone, specifically at the goal line. Here's this defender who's got Marvin Harrison Jr. man-to-man in coverage. Doesn't sound like very much fun to me. He gets the opportunity to do so. I do not envy him for this task, and yet here we go. You sell the route inside for Marvin Harrison Jr. The goal of that is, in a perfect world, this defensive back is running here. But when you sell this inside, it creates a little bit more larger of a platform for the quarterback to throw the football to, a little bit larger of a window for you to operate within. So that good footwork allows a little bit more space for this ball. You're not as condensed and compressed towards the sideline. Watch this play, run it. As a receiver, we talk about high pointing the football. Do not let the football come to you, because the closer the football comes to you when you catch it, the better chance for a defensive back to reach in for a pass breakup. Look at these hands specifically for Marvin Harrison Jr. He's saying, I'm going up to get it. I am climbing the ladders. You see him actually make the catch. Gonna climb the ladder here. Bam, right there, making that catch. And by the way, this is so not even close to being incomplete. And this defensive back is waving his hands like, he's out of bounds, right? No, not even close. Marvin Harrison Jr., again, makes everything look so easy. You can see it again here and just kind of appreciate Marvin Harrison Jr. He's covered, but when he's covered, he's still open. Let's get through another one, and this one might be my favorite one. This is a young Marvin Harrison Jr. This is connecting with C.J. Stroud, who, of course, had one of the great rookie seasons ever. Imagine those two playing in the same offense at the NFL level. Not going to happen, but it would sure would be a lot of fun. All right, so you got a lot of space here, right? This is man-to-man coverage. This defensive back understands that he has Marvin Harrison Jr., but you don't see it here. He's got a little bit of safety help as well. Why that matters is, watch again, Marvin Harrison Jr. is able to sell this route inside here in a second. It's a brief move. It is a brief move inside, but when you see that move inside, what it does is it influences this safety just a little bit. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. just takes this route and runs right down the sideline, then this safety, who you can't even see as of right now, his path is going to be at the snap, driving on the football here, because even a young Marvin Harrison Jr. was commanding the attention of defenses. So he's saying, I got to gain depth and I got to gain width and prevent Marvin Harrison Jr. from making us pay the price in the red zone. And instead, that little sell inside bought him that simple extra time. And then just watch this. Watch him reach back for the football. This is ridiculous. 6'3", 209 pounds. I'll say it again. Look at this. He just reaches back effortlessly. Marvin Harrison Jr. reaches back for the football like C.J. Stroud was actually handing the football off to him like it was just a regular old power play from the backfield. Tremendous catch, the body control, the strength. You can watch it here, the sell inside. I'm just gonna let you watch this one all the way through. We've got two separate angles for it. Marvin Harrison Jr., this is just a thing of beauty. So fluid, so smooth, so composed at all times. It's as if Marvin Harrison Jr., the minute he stepped on campus at Ohio State, felt like he was the best player on the field, and frankly, it oftentimes showed. The 2024 NFL Draft is considered an historic class for wide receivers, but since the start of the process, Harrison has stood atop my board as the best of them all. For nearly any rookie entering the NFL, it's only natural to expect a learning curve to acclimate to the NFL game. But not for all rookies. Given his size, speed, savvy, play strength, and the traits we just highlighted, Marvin Harrison Jr. has established himself, in my eyes, as the most pro-ready player in the entire 2024 NFL Draft. This episode of Top Prospects is presented by Robert Half. At Robert Half, we know talent.